Okay. The entirety of human history can be summed up in one phrase. The economic problem. Simply put, the economic problem is the problem of meeting human needs. According to the economic problem, we as human beings have unlimited needs, not because we're greedy, but because our needs are ongoing. Just drinking one bottle of water is not sufficient to quench your thirst the rest of your life. Your need for water is ongoing throughout your life, so it's an unlimited need. However, the resources that we have to meet those needs are limited. When you combine unlimited needs with limited resources, you end up with a condition that we call scarcity, which is at the heart of the economic problem and which is also at the heart of the human saga for survival over the centuries. So every society that has ever existed in in history has had to confront this problem of scarcity. And how they have addressed this problem is the story of human progress, the story of human survival. It's the story of love. It's the story of war. It's all that we know to have, well, not all, but a good deal of what we know to have happened over the course of the centuries can be explained in light of this problem. For instance, if we think back to the ancient world, back in ancient civilizations, it does not matter which part of the world you look at, whether you're looking at the ancient civilizations of Mesoamerica or of Asia or of the Fertile Crescent of Africa. It does not matter where you look. They all face some basic struggles to their survival. For instance, the birth of agriculture was an attempt to address this problem of scarcity as human population was growing in places such as Mesopotamia, relying on methods of gaining food, such as just going out and gathering, would not be sufficient to support a growing population. With the growing population, the need was becoming unlimited, but the resources could not keep pace. Therefore, there had to be ways had to be developed to produce crops and to raise livestock on demand in order to meet those needs. So the ancient world had their ways of struggling with the economic problem. The story of trade is related to the economic problem because certain areas have resources that are not available in other areas. That provides an incentive for trade to develop. For instance, we know that in the ancient world, as well as in the Middle Ages, that there was a growth of trade that was driven by this need to gain resources that were not available. But it also explains conquest. Throughout the centuries, wars of conquest have been ongoing, and even to this day, even though we don't like to think of it in that terms, much of the conflict that is occurring in this world, even today, is being driven by a need to acquire resources that are not available in one area that others desire to gain control of. So the economic problem helps us to understand a lot about the course of human history. There was an early economist, his name was Thomas Malthus, who looked at this problem of scarcity and the implications that it has for the development of human society. And from his perspective, he believed that the needs that are created by human society would always outgrow the resources that are available to meet those needs. And he theorized that we would reach a point where basically human society would collapse on itself because our needs would become so great and our resources would become too limited to meet those needs. But once again, he proved his theory was wrong because he didn't take into account the role that technology and progress can play in helping us to address this problem of scarcity. So once again, the economic problem is one way of explaining the course of human history.